What if I told you that your path to growth isn't always blocked by your own lack of discipline or motivation, but by the hidden presence of certain people who quietly hold you back? That might sound surprising, or even unsettling, but here's the truth. The influences around you can shape your destiny in ways you never fully realize, until it's too late. We live in a world overloaded with demands on our time and attention. We strive to thrive, to find meaning, to build a life that reflects our values. Yet, amid all this, certain individuals might subtly erode our resolve or poison our perspective. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel. So, if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You've likely felt it before. Those moments of anxiety, confusion, or stalled progress when your ambitions feel stuck. Often, the culprit isn't just your circumstances, it's the people who surround you. But it doesn't have to be that way. Today, we're going to explore how to recognize and navigate around 9 types of individuals who can undermine your growth if you're not prepared. And by the end of this narrative, you'll see how a Stoic mindset, blended with insights from other timeless philosophies, can give you the tools to stay calm, protect your momentum, and chart a path forward that's resilient and fulfilling. Let me assure you, I speak from a place of hard-earned experience, both my own and that of countless individuals I've guided. I've spent years studying and applying the wisdom of Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and other philosophers, adapting their teachings to the modern challenges we all face. My goal here is simple: to share that knowledge in a way you can act upon immediately. First, we'll delve into what Stoicism is and why it matters. Next, I'll weave a story about 9 specific kinds of people whose negativity or manipulation can derail even the strongest among us. Finally, we'll see exactly how to apply Stoic strategies, like setting mental boundaries, reflecting daily, and focusing on what's in your control, to stay on course, no matter who or what tries to disrupt you. So, here's how it'll go. In this first segment, we'll ground ourselves in the foundations of Stoicism and set the stage for why certain types of individuals can be so corrosive to our progress. In the second segment, we'll walk through the heart of the matter, these 9 undermining archetypes, and illustrate how they operate in real-life scenarios. In the third and final segment, we'll close the loop with practical Stoic tools, showing you how to preserve your energy, rebuild your mindset, and forge the meaningful life you deserve, untouched by the wrong influences. Now, let us begin. Imagine a warm, late afternoon light falling through tall windows onto worn marble floors, a hush of distant footsteps echoing in an ancient library. In your mind's eye, you step inside, drawn by the promise of wisdom that transcends time. Seated at a heavy wooden table is an older man, his posture upright despite the years etched into his face. His gaze is calm, steady, reflecting a life shaped by trials and introspection. As you approach, he nods with a slight smile, inviting you to take a seat opposite him. You sense he has stories to tell, gleaned from a lifetime of wandering the byways of human interaction. In a low, measured voice, he begins. My friend, you may believe that to grow in life, be it in your career, your sense of purpose, or your moral development, you need only enough willpower. You might think discipline and clarity alone suffice. True, those are vital. But let me share something crucial. The environment around you can be your ally or your downfall. Specifically, certain people embody habits, attitudes, or energies that gnaw at your progress from within. They can be your peers, even your loved ones, and their effect might be so subtle you barely detect it. Yet, over time, their negativity or manipulative ways sap your determination, twist your judgment, or bury your best intentions. Stoic philosophy, echoing other ancient wisdom, teaches that while we cannot control other people, we can control our exposure to them and our mental response. Indeed, we must guard our hearts and direct our energies toward what truly nourishes us. If we fail to do so, we allow external elements to overshadow the seed of virtue and growth we carry inside. The result? We walk in circles, never quite flourishing as we might have had we been more discerning. Now, do not mistake this for a call to cut off all who trouble us. Life is not so binary. The real task is to see clearly those who undermine our growth, to understand how they do it, and to decide, rationally, calmly, how best to preserve our journey. Sometimes that means setting boundaries. What if I told you that your path to growth isn't always blocked by your own lack of discipline or motivation, but by the hidden presence of certain people who quietly hold you back? That might sound surprising, or even unsettling, but here's the truth. The influences around you can shape your destiny in ways you never fully realize, until it's too late. We live in a world overloaded with demands on our time and attention. We strive to thrive, to find meaning, to build a life that reflects our values. Yet, amid all this, certain individuals might subtly erode our resolve or poison our perspective. Now, if you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel. So, if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You've likely felt it before. Those moments of anxiety, confusion, or stalled progress when your ambitions feel stuck. Often, the culprit isn't just your circumstances, it's the people who surround you. But it doesn't have to be that way. Today, we're going to explore how to recognize and navigate around 9 types of individuals who can undermine your growth if you're not prepared. And by the end of this narrative, you'll see how a Stoic mindset, blended with insights from other timeless philosophies, can give you the tools to stay calm, protect your momentum, and chart a path forward that's resilient and fulfilling. Let me assure you, I speak from a place of hard-earned experience, both my own and that of countless individuals I've guided. I've spent years studying and applying the wisdom of Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and other philosophers, adapting their teachings to the modern challenges we all face. My goal here is simple: to share that knowledge in a way you can act upon immediately. First, we'll delve into what Stoicism is and why it matters. Next, I'll weave a story about 9 specific kinds of people whose negativity or manipulation can derail even the strongest among us. Finally, we'll see exactly how to apply Stoic strategies, like setting mental boundaries, reflecting daily, and focusing on what's in your control, to stay on course, no matter who or what tries to disrupt you. So, here's how it'll go. In this first segment, we'll ground ourselves in the foundations of Stoicism and set the stage for why certain types of individuals can be so corrosive to our progress. In the second segment, we'll walk through the heart of the matter, these 9 undermining archetypes, and illustrate how they operate in real-life scenarios. In the third and final segment, we'll close the loop with practical Stoic tools, showing you how to preserve your energy, rebuild your mindset, and forge the meaningful life you deserve, untouched by the wrong influences. Now, let us begin. Imagine a warm, late afternoon light falling through tall windows onto worn marble floors, a hush of distant footsteps echoing in an ancient library. In your mind's eye, you step inside, drawn by the promise of wisdom that transcends time. Seated at a heavy wooden table is an older man, his posture upright despite the years etched into his face. His gaze is calm, steady, reflecting a life shaped by trials and introspection. As you approach, he nods with a slight smile, inviting you to take a seat opposite him. You sense he has stories to tell, gleaned from a lifetime of wandering the byways of human interaction. In a low, measured voice, he begins. My friend, you may believe that to grow in life, be it in your career, your sense of purpose, or your moral development, you need only enough willpower. You might think discipline and clarity alone suffice. True, those are vital. But let me share something crucial. The environment around you can be your ally or your downfall. Specifically, certain people embody habits, attitudes, or energies that gnaw at your progress from within. They can be your peers, even your loved ones, and their effect might be so subtle you barely detect it. Yet, over time, their negativity or manipulative ways sap your determination, twist your judgment, or bury your best intentions. Stoic philosophy, echoing other ancient wisdom, teaches that while we cannot control other people, we can control our exposure to them and our mental response. Indeed, we must guard our hearts and direct our energies toward what truly nourishes us. If we fail to do so, we allow external elements to overshadow the seed of virtue and growth we carry inside. The result? We walk in circles, never quite flourishing as we might have had we been more discerning. Now, do not mistake this for a call to cut off all who trouble us. Life is not so binary. The real task is to see clearly those who undermine our growth, to understand how they do it, and to decide, rationally, calmly, how best to preserve our journey. Sometimes that means setting boundaries. Understand, then, that part of Stoic wisdom is the vigilance over the climate of your life, and that vigilance is what we shall cultivate. With that final note, the elder points to a winding hallway. We shall, in the pages ahead, observe the 9 types who might degrade your climate. But do not let your heart grow heavy at the prospect. Insight is liberating. Once you recognize these patterns, you hold the power to address them. And as we proceed, you will see how to adapt Stoic principles, like focusing on what's in your control, practicing daily reflection, maintaining moral integrity, so that no matter who crosses your path, your growth remains uncompromised. Thus, I invite you onward. Let us pass through these halls, glimpsing each type, weaving them into examples drawn from life, and returning to Stoic counsel on how to maintain your rightful course. The old man rises, his robes sweeping the dusty floor. You sense a quiet excitement in the air, as though about to embark on a quest for hidden truths. The corridor beckons with warm lamplight, each lamp symbolic of the clarity you'll gain. Step by step, you follow him, heart open. This is where your introduction ends, and the deeper journey begins. In what follows, we will delve into the background of Stoicism, ensuring we stand on firm philosophical ground before unveiling these 9 undermining archetypes and showing how Stoic strategies can neutralize their negative sway. The transformation you seek? Protecting your growth from toxic influences starts now. Before we encounter the first of those 9 detrimental archetypes, we do well to anchor ourselves in the central tenets of Stoicism, for these will serve as your compass when dealing with corrosive personalities. Without this compass, you might react impulsively, either surrendering to negative influences or severing ties in anger. Neither approach is Stoic. So, let us clarify 3 pillars that will support you on this journey. The first is the dichotomy of control, famously stated by Epictetus. Some things are within our power, while others are not. We cannot remake another person's character or eliminate every negativity from our environment, but we can choose how to respond. We can set boundaries, walk away, or cultivate an inner state impervious to outside storms. This concept frees us from naive attempts to fix everyone or rage at their flaws. Instead, we focus on governing ourselves, which includes deciding whom we allow close. The second is virtue as the highest good. In Stoic thought, external successes or failures matter less than living in accordance with moral excellence. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. If a certain relationship repeatedly entices you toward vice, be it pettiness, anger, deceit, or erodes your pursuit of virtue, Stoic reasoning suggests adjusting or terminating that link. Your character stands paramount, the bedrock upon which all other life goals rest. Once you accept that, letting someone sabotage your virtue is akin to letting a thief plunder your greatest treasure. The third is daily reflection. The ancient Stoics practiced regular introspection, often at day's end, to review their actions, spot lapses in discipline, and reaffirm their ideals. For our purposes, this reflection is how you stay vigilant about who is influencing you. Each evening, you might ask, did I let someone's negativity or manipulation sway me today? Did I respond stoically or slip into frustration? Such questioning prevents slow, unnoticed declines in your standards. It also fosters resilience as you refine your responses over time. If, for instance, you notice that a coworker's constant complaints deflated your mood, you can plan tomorrow's approach. Either reduce conversation time or practice a mental boundary, so their gloom bounces off your calm center. Armed with these pillars, you stand ready to meet the individuals who might hamper your ascent. The Stoic approach is not paranoia or self-righteousness. It is awareness, grounded in acceptance that you cannot change them, but you can shield your orchard from rot. The orchard metaphor remains apt. Your life is the garden you cultivate, each tree representing a domain of personal development. Health, knowledge, relationships, creativity, faith, or virtue. Some might ask, why not just toughen up and remain among negative influences as a test of Stoic endurance? The Stoic answer is that while we can endure adversity if needed, we do not seek it out pointlessly. If the orchard can flourish better by removing or avoiding certain threats, that is both rational and ethically sound. You preserve your resources to face truly necessary hardships, not the self-imposed friction of toxic association. Hence, to truly focus on yourself and watch your life transform, you must be prepared to identify and navigate away from these 9 destructive types. Or, if avoidance is impossible, to neutralize their power through Stoic discipline. In the next part, we shall embark upon these archetypes more concretely, with stories that bring them to life. But let me leave you with a small exercise to prime your awareness. Reflect for a moment on your current circle: friends, co-workers, family, acquaintances. Is there a nagging sense that one or two individuals consistently erode your positivity or hamper your moral direction? If so, hold that in mind. As you read on, see if you spot them among the archetypes we describe. The recognition might be startling, but it also grants you power. Once you see the pattern, you can no longer be so easily ensnared. And so ends the first part of our tale. We have established the rationale for watching out for harmful influences, the Stoic framework for dealing with them, and a glimpse of how your orchard can flourish if protected. In the next segment, we shall venture deeper, meeting each archetype in detail, gleaning from ancient wisdom how they operate and how you might respond. Keep your heart open, your mind steady, and your moral compass close at hand. For the Stoic path is not about shutting the world out. It is about letting only that which nourishes you have deep roots in your soul, and politely but firmly declining the rest. What if, even after acknowledging the power of your environment and striving to maintain your inner fortitude, you discovered hidden threads that still threaten to unravel your progress? Perhaps you've come this far, aware that certain influences can corrode your self-development. Yet you find yourself unsure how these influences take hold, or why you struggle to break free. Here's the key insight. Simply identifying harmful individuals is not enough. You must understand the deeper patterns that bind you to them, and the tangible steps required to guard your growth. We stand at a threshold in this exploration. You already know that your mindset, much like a well-tended garden, can flourish only when it's shielded from toxic elements. Yet, in a world overflowing with distractions and complexities, the danger lies in subtle infiltration, when certain people's attitudes seep into your thinking before you can detect them. The stakes couldn't be higher. If you allow negativity, manipulation, or envy to shape your decisions, you risk undermining not just your happiness, but your entire moral framework. But take heart. In the next chapters of our story, we're going to dig into the very heart of how these 9 corrosive archetypes operate. You'll see real-world scenarios that clarify their tactics, and you'll learn how Stoic wisdom can help you respond effectively, preserving your focus and protecting your inner life. By the end, you'll have specific Stoic strategies, drawn from the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, that will empower you to hold firm, stay calm, and even transform some of these troubling interactions into opportunities for your own growth. You might ask, why listen to this voice, reminiscent of an older man who speaks with calm intensity about adversity and moral clarity? Because these insights stem from decades of practical application, years spent wandering the labyrinth of human relationships, reflecting on ancient philosophy, and applying it day after day. Now, I offer the refined essence to you, in a form you can use immediately. So let us map our next steps. First, we'll revisit our Stoic vantage point, ensuring we remain rooted in self-possession rather than victimhood. Then we will re-enter our metaphorical courtyard, where we'll meet more of the 9 archetypal figures who undermine growth, seeing how they erode confidence, distort perspective, or drain motivation. Finally, we'll interlace each encounter with practical Stoic responses, boundary setting, reflection, or even well-timed empathy. If you stay with me through this second segment, I promise by the time we close, you'll see precisely how to navigate these influences in your own life, neither succumbing to their negativity nor letting them erode your pursuit of excellence. Envision once more that vast marble-floored courtyard, lamps flickering in the subdued light. In the previous part of our journey, You walked beside me, an elder voice as we introduced the concept of self-focus and glimpsed the first hints of these 9 disruptive archetypes. Now, the door to the next corridor stands ajar, revealing a dim passage where shadowy figures gather. Each figure represents a distinct challenge, a living example of how certain behaviors can sabotage your development. Our task is not to wage war on them, but to understand their nature and strengthen ourselves accordingly. A thought may arise. Am I being too cautious? Should I not greet all with openness? The Stoic answer is nuanced. We greet all with goodwill, but not all earn the right to shape our mind and heart. Human decency demands courtesy, but Stoic wisdom allows for self-protection. We can show kindness without letting someone's corrosive energy seep into our soul. Indeed, the Stoics recognized that you can stand among many forms of negativity, yet remain untainted if you hold fast to your principles. Herein lies the deeper Stoic challenge. Can you remain calm and constructive even in the presence of those who spew cynicism, envy, or manipulation? Possibly if you have diligently prepared. However, if the negativity is relentless or cunning, your best recourse might be distance or carefully defined engagement. This is not cowardice, but prudence. Just as a farmer rotates crops and fences off the predators, you must guard the orchard of your mind, ensuring each sapling of growth. Be it moral discipline, a new skill, or a budding dream, does not wither under the wrong influences. Encountering the Archetypes, a story of neglected boundaries. To illustrate, let me share a story of a man named Julius, a once promising craftsman who fell prey to multiple undermining forces at once. Julius was gifted in woodworking, possessed a fine sense of design, and had a dream to start a small workshop blending traditional craftsmanship with modern aesthetics. Initially, he thrived in a supportive guild, but as time wore on, he drew near to 3 individuals, each embodying a different negative trait. One was constantly envious of others' successes, sowing seeds of doubt whenever Julius celebrated a milestone. Another was manipulative, using flattery to rope Julius into time-wasting side projects that benefited the manipulator more than Julius. And the third was a chronic complainer, forever lamenting the economy, the lack of loyal customers, the unfair competition. Whenever Julius tried to share an innovative idea, the complainer's refrain was, "That'll never work in this market," or "Why even try?" At first, Julius believed himself immune. He reasoned that as long as he remained self-confident, these voices would bounce off him. But he underestimated their cumulative effect. Day by day, their negativity seeped in. He spent more hours on the manipulator's errands than on his own designs. When success approached, the envious friend's backhanded comments gnawed at him, sapping his excitement. Meanwhile, the chronic complainer's gloom gradually eroded Julius's faith in the future. Over several months, he found himself in a slump. His workshop never got off the ground, and his creative spark dimmed. Only later, after a chance meeting with an old mentor, did Julius realize how deeply he'd let these influences burrow into his heart. Reflecting on Stoic tenets, Julius saw that he had failed to maintain boundaries or question the effect of these people's attitudes on his mental climate. He had let them dwell too close to his orchard, never pruning their negative input or fortifying his own convictions. In short, he had neglected the Stoic principle of curating his environment for growth. Realizing this, he took swift action. He distanced himself politely but firmly, declined future involvement in the manipulator's side ventures, and sought out new companions who shared a constructive mindset. Though it took time, Julius rekindled his dream and eventually launched his workshop, free from the draining toxicity that once clung to him. This anecdote clarifies how multiple archetypes can converge and derail someone's path if left unchecked. But Stoic wisdom offers a way out: self-awareness, acceptance that you cannot fix others but can fix your own stance, and the courage to shift your social and mental environment in line with virtue and purpose. Now, let us more systematically meet some of these archetypes, weaving each into a short scenario, so you can see them at work and learn how a Stoic approach might respond. The slow erosion of confidence, a chronic underminer. Picture another figure lingering by a statue in the courtyard, a friend or relative who seldom delivers overt insults but persistently chips away at your self-belief with subtle jabs or dismissals. They might say, "Oh, you're trying that again. Don't you remember how you failed last time?" Or, "You're too old to pick up a new skill now." Or, "Others are way ahead of you. Why bother?" On the surface, they sound like they're offering caution or realism. But their repeated remarks carry an undertone of belittlement. Over months, you internalize their negativity, your confidence leaking away bit by bit. From a Stoic angle, you might recall Epictetus's counsel. It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The event here is their belittling statement. Your judgment might be to treat it as gospel, letting it weigh down your spirit. The Stoic alternative is to label it for what it is: an external commentary that reflects their own limitations or viewpoint, not an objective truth about your potential. You detach from their negativity, refusing to grant it authority over your aspirations. If they persist, you calmly limit how much you share about your plans, or how much time you spend listening to their discouragement. In extreme cases, you might sever ties if their presence repeatedly poisons your mind. The Stoic does not do so in anger, but in a spirit of self-preservation, recognizing that your orchard must not fall prey to a relentless underminer. In truth, such an individual may not even realize their impact. They might be echoing their own unresolved fears. Stoic compassion recognizes this, yet Stoic prudence still acts to protect your growth. You remain open to the possibility that one day they might see how their negativity harms not just you, but themselves. Until then, you maintain a protective boundary of reason, not letting their words shape your self-view. This mental discipline can be practiced daily. Each time their remarks echo in your mind, you remind yourself that your worth does not hinge on their assessment. Over time, the sting fades, replaced by a Stoic calm that stands unshaken by external negativity. The vortex of drama, those who pull you into endless turmoil. Another archetype stands in a corner of the courtyard, surrounded by swirling confusion. Someone who always seems embroiled in drama, chaos, or emotional upheavals. They come to you breathless, sharing the latest crisis, seeking your involvement or validation. While you might empathize at first, Stoic caution flags that repeated exposure to their perpetual turmoil can drain your focus, leaving less energy for your own endeavors. You become an unwitting participant in their cycle, spending hours mediating disputes or commiserating with their woes that never resolve. Stoics remind us that we each have finite resources of time and mental space. If you let a drama vortex consume these resources, your growth stalls. The Stoic approach: you offer a listening ear or a helpful perspective if it aligns with your virtue, but you do not plunge into the thick of their chaos. If they continually return with fresh crises, you consider stepping back, politely stating you cannot invest endless emotional labor in their unending issues. You do so not from heartlessness, but from the recognition that you cannot fix someone determined to remain in turmoil. Paraphrasing Seneca, it serves neither them nor you if you both sink in the same quicksand of unresolved drama. The Stoic calmly acknowledges their plight but preserves personal boundaries, ensuring that your orchard remains tended while they sort out or perpetuate their storms. Perhaps they learn from your composed refusal to be dragged under. Perhaps not. In either case, you hold your line. Beware the enabler of vice, subtle corruption of your values. Now, let us consider a different figure, one who urges you toward small moral compromises, hinting that it's harmless or that everyone does it. They might tempt you to cut corners, cheat a bit, or indulge in destructive habits. In social settings, they might trivialize anything from substance abuse to unethical dealings, prizing short-term pleasure or profit above character. If you yield repeatedly, you risk eroding your Stoic virtue. The orchard of your moral identity becomes riddled with pests. Stoicism frames virtue, wisdom, courage, temperance, justice, as the bedrock of a life well lived. Letting an enabler of vice infiltrate your routine fosters the opposite. Over time, you may rationalize small transgressions, each feeling minor until you awaken to find your moral compass askew. A Stoic response might be to politely refuse their invitations and explain your stance if needed. You do not judge them harshly. You merely hold firm that your path is not theirs. If they persist, you step away. This might cost a friendship or a social advantage, but Stoicism would have you recall that no external gain is worth corrupting your inner sense of goodness. Indeed, one of the strongest acts of self-focus is safeguarding your character from those who would trivialize integrity for a fleeting thrill. By declining to partake, you stand as an example of uprightness, which might quietly inspire others to reevaluate their own choices. But your first duty is to protect your orchard from moral rot. You have now reached the halfway mark of the video. I congratulate you for trying to become a better version of yourself, and I also humbly ask you to leave a comment as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write "better every day," so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. The chronic gossiper. Noise that clouds your vision picture. A figure whispering incessantly to a small circle, tongues wagging about others' misdeeds, failures, or private affairs. Gossip can seem harmless or entertaining, but Stoic insight sees the hidden cost. When your mind is cluttered with talk of who did what scandalous thing or how someone stumbled, you distract your focus from your own refinement. Gossip also sows seeds of distrust and cynicism in your mind, leading you to see the world through rumor-laden lenses. Over time, you might adopt the gossiper's lens, busying yourself with trivial details of others' lives rather than tending your orchard. Stoicism, by contrast, advocates focusing on what truly matters: your conduct, your moral aims, and constructive engagement with those around you. The gossip invites you to dwell on the unessential, to feed pettiness. The Stoic method is to gently redirect conversation toward more meaningful subjects, or to disengage if the gossip persists. If pressed, you might say, I prefer not to discuss personal matters behind people's backs, or I'd rather focus on what I can improve in my own affairs. This is not prudishness. It is self-protection. Gossip can be as insidious as cynicism or drama, luring you into superficial judgments that hamper genuine growth. By refusing to partake, you preserve mental clarity and a sense of respect for others, key Stoic virtues. Over time, you might find your circle adjusting, either reducing idle chatter or distancing themselves if they crave that pastime. Let them do so. Your orchard is too precious to be overrun by rumor weeds. Tying these archetypes to your Stoic practice. Notice how each type threatens your orchard in a unique way. The chronic underminer chips at your confidence. The vortex of drama devours your bandwidth. The enabler of vice corrodes your moral root. The gossip floods your mind with inconsequential chatter. None of these interactions alone might doom you, but in combination or repetition, they can suffocate the seeds of self-development. A Stoic stands ready with daily reflection, boundaries, and a firm moral stance to keep these influences at bay. If you find yourself forced to coexist with such individuals, perhaps in a workplace, you refine your mental discipline, letting their negativity pass through you like a breeze that cannot sway an old oak. You set internal or external boundaries as needed, engaging only insofar as virtue or duty demands, no more. Occasionally, you might meet a friend or coworker who exhibits multiple traits. That demands even greater caution. You can show courtesy or empathy if they struggle, but do not let them pull you into their spiral. The Stoic motto remains consistent. Focus on your own reasoned choices, guard your orchard's environment, and do not fixate on converting them. They must walk their path. By the same token, you are free to choose yours, free from illusions that pleasing them or tolerating them incessantly leads anywhere but stunted growth. The orchard must thrive. That is your priority if you wish to see your potential bloom. A reflection on the social web. We must remember that no person is wholly one archetype all the time. Real relationships are complex. Someone might occasionally gossip, but also offer genuine kindness. Another might be cynical about certain topics, but helpful in others. Stoicism does not advocate a black and white culling of your social web. Instead, you weigh how each relationship, in its totality, affects your trajectory. If the negative aspects far outweigh the positives, Stoic reason suggests limiting that bond. If the negativity is occasional, you might endure or guide them gently, so long as you remain vigilant. The Stoic principle of measured action applies. You do not overreact or underreact. You act proportionally with your best interest, defined by moral and personal growth, in mind. Let us, then, recall Marcus Aurelius, who, in his meditations, often chided himself not to let the wrongdoing of others sink into his mind. He reigned over an empire full of politics and betrayals, yet strove to keep his judgments pure, not letting rancor or cynicism erode his equanimity. This is the model Stoicism offers. Remain open to human complexity, but do not let it degrade your spirit. If the negativity persists, you have the right, perhaps the duty, to avoid entanglement. A glimpse of future archetypes. We have revealed only a few of the 9. In the next part, we will see more. Those prone to violent anger, the cunning flatterer who manipulates through praise, and the perpetual victim who refuses responsibility. Each demands a unique Stoic response, Yet the overarching theme remains the same. Your orchard grows only in an environment of balanced nourishment, not overshadowed by these pernicious behaviors. If you guard your orchard with reason, you keep your moral center, your creative ambitions, and your emotional well-being intact. Fail to guard it, and the orchard languishes. Thus, as we close this second segment, let me challenge you to identify any parallels in your own circle. Who might be the drama vortex in your life? The enabler of vice? The hidden cynic who whittles your hope? Start naming them, quietly in your own reflection. Then recall Stoic solutions: daily introspection, boundary setting, focusing on what's truly within your control, your own stance. Next time that person intrudes with negativity or enticement, see if you can respond from a place of calm, politely deflecting or limiting their impact. Each success becomes a building block, fortifying you further. Remember, Stoicism is not about condemning people for being flawed. We are all flawed. It is about preserving your capacity to grow, serve, and find peace in alignment with virtue. By understanding how these 9 archetypes operate, you gain foresight. By applying Stoic strategies, you protect yourself from entanglements that do no good, for you or them. Indeed, sometimes the greatest kindness you can show is to let them face their own negativity without dragging you down. That, my friend, is the quiet power of a well-tended orchard. What if, after all the insights, stories, and cautions you've heard, there was still one final door to open? A door through which you could clearly see how to protect your growth from the 9 toxic archetypes and emerge stronger and freer. The stakes couldn't be more real. These negative influences you've encountered threaten not just your comfort, but your very potential. Yet today, I want to show you precisely how to handle them in a way that elevates your life's meaning, rather than causing conflict or despair. In essence, I promise that by the time we finish, you'll hold a coherent Stoic blueprint for steering clear of these undermining types, or neutralizing their impact if they must remain in your orbit. Why trust this approach? Because it fuses the ancient tenets of Stoicism, proven across centuries, with lived experience applying them in modern complexities. I've spent years studying Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and then testing their insights in the messy reality of relationships. Again and again, I've seen that a calm, inward focus, one that carefully chooses what and whom to let in, transforms not only your mindset, but how others respond to you. First, though, we'll step back into our imaginary courtyard one last time, unveiling the final archetypes that threaten your self-mastery. Then we'll tie together all 9 in a concise strategy, anchored by Stoic practices you can adopt immediately. That's our roadmap. First, see the shadows that remain. Then discover how Stoic clarity and discipline outshine them. Finally, gather these threads into a single plan of action. Standing in the courtyard, the final figures revealed. Envision yourself within that grand lamplit courtyard once more. You've already encountered several troubling figures: cynics, manipulators, complainers, and others. Now, 3 more presences hover at the far edges, each representing a distinctive form of negativity that can erode your growth if left unchecked. As you walk toward them, recall the Stoic teachings that have guided you thus far. Control what lies within your power. Guard your orchard, and never let external turmoil sabotage your virtue. 1. The volatile temper. This is the one who explodes with anger, slams doors, and flares up at small provocations. If you share your aspirations or your new discipline strategies, they might lash out or belittle you in a heated moment. Even if they apologize later, the cycle repeats. Over time, you learn to tiptoe around them or withhold your honest opinions, stifling the authenticity that fosters growth. Stoicism reminds us that anger is often a sign of misplaced focus, an irrational surge that stifles reason. If you are perpetually subjected to someone's unchecked rage, your mind can be diverted to appeasement or fear. In such an environment, it's tough to cultivate creativity or moral refinement. The Stoic approach might be twofold. If possible, maintain physical and emotional distance from the chronically volatile, especially during their eruptions. If you must engage, for instance, they're a coworker or family member, practice calm detachment, speaking little until the storm passes. By refusing to mirror their fury, you protect your center. You also hold them accountable for their behavior. Stoics do not enable destructive tempers with endless tolerance. You can set a boundary, stating clearly that you will not partake in screaming matches or anxious appeasements. If they refuse to moderate, you retreat, politely, without condemnation, but firmly. Over time, your quiet composure may prompt them to reflect on their tantrums, or it may not, in which case you at least have sheltered your orchard from the chaos. 2. The perpetual victim. Next, you see a figure slumped in the shadows, reciting their endless woes. How life is unfair, how they are always the unlucky one, how the deck is stacked against them. This type drains your drive with their constant narrative that success is unattainable, or that personal agency is an illusion. If you share your Stoic practice, emphasizing responsibility for your mindset, they might scoff, "Easy for you to say," or "You don't understand real hardship." Over time, their negativity can infect your belief in the power of choice, luring you into fatalism. Stoicism counters fatalism by asserting that while we cannot dictate all external circumstances, we always command our judgments and responses. The perpetual victim, however, claims no control at all. To guard your orchard, you must gently but resolutely reject their narrative. When they lament their luck, you can empathize, acknowledging their feelings, but still uphold the Stoic truth that perspective and effort matter. If they persist in denial of any responsibility, you avoid futile debates. You do not let their victimhood define your reality. Gradually, you might limit how often you listen to their laments, lest you find your own optimism eroding. And if they show any openness, you offer Stoic insights about focusing on internal power. It may or may not spark change in them, but at least you maintain your path. 3. The cunning flatterer. Finally, in a far corner stands one who greets you with honeyed words, praising your talents lavishly, showering you with compliments. At first, it feels wonderful, even encouraging. Yet, if you look closer, you sense a hidden motive. Perhaps they want your resources, your influence, or your compliance. Flattery can be a more insidious threat than overt negativity, because it disarms your caution, appealing to your ego. Over time, it can entangle you in obligations or illusions, making you forget your Stoic principles as you chase the sweet glow of their praise. Stoicism warns against external validation. Marcus Aurelius famously reminded himself that applause from the crowd is fleeting and often hollow. The cunning flatterer leverages that hunger for approval. If you succumb, you risk losing your independence, your orchard overshadowed by the flattery that demands reciprocation. The Stoic remedy is to remain measured in the face of praise, grateful yet never swayed into uncritical compliance. Ask yourself, what does this person stand to gain by flattering me? Is their praise consistent with reality, or is it exaggerated? If you sense manipulation, keep your distance or respond politely, but remain unattached to their approval. This preserves your self-governance and prevents your orchard from being smothered by illusions of grandeur. Weaving the threads, all 9 types in perspective. Now that we've seen the final trio, volatile tempers, perpetual victims, and cunning flatterers, we can piece them together with the earlier archetypes: chronic complainers, constant cynics, manipulative souls, enablers of vice, gossips, and those who slowly erode your confidence. Each poses a distinct threat to your personal evolution if not handled with Stoic vigilance. But how exactly do we unify this knowledge into a single, coherent strategy? The answer lies in 3 Stoic principles we introduced earlier and now refine. 1. Dichotomy of control. You cannot reshape these 9 types to suit your ideals, but you can decide whether to engage them, set boundaries, or cultivate internal resilience. This concept guides you to relinquish the futile hope of fixing them while focusing on your own domain, your judgments, routines, and environment. 2. Virtue as the highest good. Your prime directive is to nurture and express moral excellence, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these negative influences tries to veer you away from one or more of these virtues. A manipulator might test your justice or honesty, while a flatterer might undermine your wisdom. Keep virtue in the forefront, measuring every relationship by whether it supports or threatens your moral stance. 3. Daily reflection, the practice that ties it all together. Each evening, or morning if you prefer, review any interactions with these archetypes. Did you uphold your boundaries, or did cynicism creep in? Did anger seep into your response to a volatile person? Did flattery puff your ego? By checking daily, you prevent slow erosion and reinforce better habits. With these guiding stars, the orchard stands strong. No matter which negative trait appears, you rely on the same Stoic frameworks: controlling your responses, preserving your virtue, and reviewing your progress. Over time, this transforms your environment from a field of potential sabotage into a measured realm where you decide who and what influences your mind. Even if certain negative individuals remain in your sphere, due to familial ties or professional obligations, the Stoic vantage helps you interact without letting them seep into your core. Practical Stoic techniques for reinforcing boundaries. What about direct, practical steps beyond broad philosophy? Let us outline how you might tangibly uphold your orchard's integrity. 1. Mindful conversation limits. If you're forced to deal with a chronic cynic or victim at work, set time parameters. Listen briefly, enough to show courtesy, but redirect the conversation to solutions, or politely end it if they persist in negativity. Mentally note the time spent, so it does not balloon. This fosters your sense of agency. You never find yourself trapped for hours in draining chatter. 2. Polite deflection. When faced with a gossip or manipulator, you can respond with non-committal phrases like, "I see," or "interesting," then pivot away. This gentle technique shows neither agreement nor condemnation, preventing them from hooking you further. Over repeated use, they may realize you're not a willing participant in their gossip or manipulation. 3. anchor phrases. Craft short Stoic affirmations that you silently repeat in a tense moment. For example, I control my response, not their behavior, or my virtue is my shield. In the presence of a volatile temperament or cunning flatterer, these anchor phrases help you keep perspective, preventing an emotional hijack. Identify your weak spots. Maybe flattery easily sways you, or cynicism rattles your optimism. By knowing your vulnerabilities, you prepare specific counters. If flattery lures you, you remind yourself that external praise can obscure rational judgment. If cynicism deflates you, you reaffirm your Stoic faith in reason and effort. This preemptive strategy hinders these types from hitting you where it hurts most. 5. Mental imagery of boundaries. Visualize an invisible wall protecting your orchard whenever negativity arises. You see their words or mood press against this wall, but the seeds of your aspiration remain unharmed. This simple mental exercise bolsters your Stoic detachment, reinforcing that their negativity is external, not part of you. 6. Strategically seek alternatives. If your social circle is rife with such individuals, begin seeking more supportive or neutral connections. A new hobby group, a professional network, or a philosophical discussion circle. This does not mean discarding old ties instantly, but introducing fresh ones that feed your growth. Over time, the positive influences can overshadow the negative. Reconciling compassion and self-defense. Some might still worry, am I abandoning people who need help? Stoicism encourages compassion. Yet, it clarifies that enabling destructive patterns is not true compassion. If a friend is truly open to changing cynicism or drama, you can offer Stoic principles or empathic dialogue. But if they cling to negativity despite repeated attempts, you are not obliged to sacrifice your orchard indefinitely. In such cases, stepping back might be the very thing that prompts them to face their own behavior. Alternatively, you might keep minimal contact, preserving a glimmer of goodwill while not letting them overshadow your daily life. Compassion can coexist with boundaries. Indeed, the Stoic sees that genuine kindness can sometimes appear firm or detached in the short run. Closing the circle, the Stoic attitude toward interpersonal challenges. As we near the end of our exploration, consider the Stoic attitude not as a harsh fortress, but as a well-tended garden, open to sunlight and gentle visitors, yet protected by a mindful caretaker. You do not resent the weeds or the pests. You accept they exist, but you do not allow them free rein. You remove them or prevent their spreading. This is how you handle the 9 detrimental archetypes, neither raging against them nor passively letting them choke your progress, but calmly acting in your own best interest, guided by moral clarity. For a final illustration, let me share an anecdote of an older colleague, Cassian, who once oversaw a department rife with gossip, envy, and volatile tempers. Observers thought the environment was too toxic to salvage. Yet Cassian, a Stoic at heart, refused to become bitter. He set clear expectations that negativity or personal attacks had no place in the team discussions, and that each person must focus on solutions rather than complaints. When flattery or sabotage arose, he responded with unruffled composure, quietly deflating manipulative tactics. Over months, the department culture shifted, not because he forced people to change, but because his unwavering Stoic presence left them little room to indulge in old patterns. Some left the department, uncomfortable with the new tone. Those who remained either adopted a more constructive mindset or learned to keep their harmful traits in check. Cassian's orchard thrived. This story underscores the ripple effect of Stoic leadership. By focusing on what you can control, your responses, your standards, your environment, you can gently reshape the climate around you, or at least carve out a peaceful corner where your growth stands safe. Putting it all together. A final roadmap. Let us give you a concise, step-by-step approach you can carry forward. 1. Self-awareness. Identify which of the 9 archetypes are present in your life. Reflect on how each might erode your enthusiasm, discipline, or moral clarity. 2. Setting boundaries. Decide how much time or emotional investment you're willing to give each person. If you must engage, keep it brief or steer conversation away from negativity. If feasible, reduce overall contact. Always remain polite, yet firm. 3rd, Stoic reflection. Use daily journaling or quiet review to track progress. Did you succumb to cynicism, gossip, or flattery today? Did you handle an angry outburst calmly? Each reflection helps you refine your next response, preventing slow, unnoticed drift. 4. Internal fortification. Adopt mental exercises. Anchor phrases, boundary visualizations, or preemptive self-talk that remind you not to internalize destructive messages. Pair this with a commitment to the Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, justice, so you keep your orchard's integrity. 5. Balanced compassion. If you sense genuine willingness to change in someone, offer Stoic insights gently. But do not cling to illusions. If they persist in negativity, you remain steadfast in your boundaries. This stance can, ironically, help them see the cost of their behavior. 6. Ongoing evolution. Accept that your circle may shift as you apply these principles. Some negative ties might naturally fall away. Welcome new connections with people who share or respect your pursuit of virtue. Over time, this synergy supports your continuous growth. Conclusion: a future unhindered by harmful influence. And so, our extended journey draws to a close. You have glimpsed 9 archetypes: chronic cynics, complainers, manipulators, gossipers, enablers of vice, slow confidence eroders, vortexes of drama, volatile tempers, perpetual victims, and cunning flatterers. Each can hamper your growth if permitted free rein. Yet Stoicism, along with the universal logic of self-preservation, gives you the clarity and courage to neutralize or avoid them without malice. You stand now at the threshold of a life in which your orchard, your moral and personal development, unfolds under more favorable skies. Instead of living in constant reaction to negativity, you reclaim your agency. I invite you to implement these strategies without delay. Start small. Tomorrow morning, commit to noticing any negative talk in your circle and limiting your response. If you see a drama vortex swirling, opt out politely rather than diving in. If a flatterer tries to charm you, politely acknowledge their praise, then maintain your independence of thought. Each small act is a statement of self-respect, a reminder that your orchard's well-being is your responsibility. Over weeks, watch as your mind feels lighter, your goals become clearer, and your resilience grows. Perhaps you find new avenues of support, like a Stoic reading group or a mentor. Perhaps you cultivate a simpler circle, free from toxic drama. Regardless, your transformation begins with the choice to defend your growth against undermining forces. Remember, Stoic wisdom is not about isolation. It's about mindful selection of the influences you permit to shape you. And if you ever doubt yourself, if a cunning manipulator sows confusion, or a cynic knocks your morale, return to the Stoic fundamentals. You control your judgments, you uphold your virtue, and you practice daily reflection to stay on course. Others may swirl around in negativity, but you remain anchored in your orchard, nurturing the seeds of self-improvement that, with time, will yield a harvest of genuine purpose and contentment. Thus ends our conversation, yet your practice continues. In the days ahead, you will face these archetypes. Some encounters may be mild, others tense. But armed with Stoic clarity and unwavering commitment to your path, you can navigate them all. If you stumble, do not despair. Stoics embrace imperfection and learn from it, refining their approach. Each slip is a lesson that polishes your self-awareness. Step by step, you become the architect of your own atmosphere, freed from the hidden anchors that once held you back. May the orchard of your life flourish, unclouded by these 9 toxic influences, and may you carry Stoic grace into every season that unfolds. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.